Hello there. My name's Miles Pitcher. I'm the owner of Superior Lending. I have my good friend with me today, Annelise Slack, and we are talking about flood insurance. Such an exciting topic. I will say Annelise is the owner with her husband of their insurance company, and they are fabulous. They are great. Annelise, anything you want to introduce about your insurance company or your husband?
Oh, so my husband and I have been business partners for a little over 17 years, but if I say it's longer than that, then it makes me old. So,
Nice.
it's been a while that we've been in the insurance industry. So, Action Financial Insurance is the name of our agency.
Yeah.
We're independent agents, so we have about 30 companies we work with, plus a few more surplus lines. We can pretty well insure anything. But the thing we want to focus on right now for this year is just educating people on flood insurance and the ins and outs and why you need it.
Beautiful. That's a perfect segue for us to jump into this. I'm going to share my screen. And so, boy, so Annalise and I are both in Utah. We've had a phenomenal year of snow. And I know across the country, there's been some flooding issues. So we really want to talk about this. And from the mortgage point of view, we only deal with this really when we look at somebody's home and see if it's within the 100-year floodplain. And then there's this forced flood insurance that has a reputation of being super expensive. So we're gonna talk about that today. Here's my questions for Annalise. I've prepped them in slides. So Annalise, does my current home policy cover flooding?
No, it does not cover exterior water. So if your pipe breaks or your washing machine hose breaks, it'll cover things like that. If your policy is written correctly, it'll cover water damage and sewer backup. You'll want to check those things, but those are interior issues. It does not cover snow melt, ditch runoff, if rain gutters fail and run water into your window wells, it comes into your basement. It doesn't cover things like that. So those are the things that we want to let people know about, that exterior water.
So let me even throw one more. What if we get past this spring runoff that we're expecting and my neighbor's sprinkler pipe breaks and floods in to my basement and does a bunch of damage? Would
I
my
love,
homeowners cover that?
nope,
Nope. Okay.
nope, it's exterior water. Even if your own sprinkler pipe breaks and
Yeah,
floods your basement,
there
nope.
we go. Awesome.
Nope.
Okay. Great. So why should flood insurance be considered this year? Yeah, go ahead.
So the weather this year has been interesting to say the least. So we have snowpack totals that are equal to rivaling the floods of 83. I remember this, Miles and I were talking about this. I remember seeing this when they diverted City Creek down through downtown Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, and the snowpack totals are very similar. So
Yeah.
we're concerned that we're going to have similar effects.
You may look at this picture and go, since it's black and white, that's like the 1920s. No, that was 1983 right there.
Yep.
And this is Provo down here where Rock Canyon was flooding right down 900 East. So as you can see from the map, we are well above our percentage of normal. And like Annalise said, we are rivaling, and most likely with the storms we have lined up the next few days, we are going to exceed what 83 had in snowpack. For fun, I just grabbed also Idaho and Colorado, and there are some serious areas in Idaho and Colorado. I know California is probably in the same boat also.
They're currently flooding.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty nuts. All right. So two questions. How much coverage do I need? And does this policy go into force immediately or is there a waiting period?
So there is a waiting period, a minimum of 15 days if it's not endorsed on your current homeowner's insurance. There are some companies that I have. We can add it to your current homeowners for a very affordable rate, under $200 for the year.
Wow.
The amount of coverage that you need is the coverage for the areas that could be damaged. So some of the other insurance companies are selling flood insurance for the entire value of the home. Well, if you have a $900,000 home or $1 million home, which we have a lot of those in Utah, that flood insurance can be very expensive.
Yeah.
You really only need to cover, the below grade that would flood. So,
Okay.
the basement portion. And we err on the conservative side. We want to give you as much coverage as you need, but not more than we don't want to make you insurance poor.
Awesome point. Awesome point. Well, and you touched on this. Isn't it expensive? I mean, every time on the mortgage side we deal with flood, people are like, oh no, that's way too expensive.
No, it really can be affordable. And when you're thinking about refinishing your basement, even if it's only half the drywall and the carpet, you're upwards of $25,000, $40,000. Those are the claims that we have seen, between 25,000 and 75,000 in damage. And, then we're not even talking about hauling that away and the personal property and things that have to be replaced. We're just talking drywall and and things like that. So if you don't have this flood insurance, it's considerably more expensive than what the flood premium is.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I'm going to jump in here. This was a question that you probably weren't planning on, but I'm just curious, like my clients whose homes do sit in a floodplain and they are forced to carry flood insurance. How is that different than what like I'm personally looking at putting on my house right now?
Mhm.
So
It really isn't different. I mean,
okay.
when we're writing flood policies, we take the address. Now, what may be different is what's required by the mortgage company as far as
Yeah.
the value. So
Yeah.
you have to live within those ramifications. But I recommend that people requote their flood insurance. There are companies that we have found recently in the last 3 years that are much more affordable than they've been in years
Mm,
past. So not only should you requote your auto and home insurance, if you've got flood insurance that's force placed, requote that. It's not a one and done situation.
that's awesome. Okay. Great advice there. So I have an escrow that takes care of my property taxes, homeowners insurance. Will my flood insurance be part of that?
No, it's a paid in full policy for the year. So there is a little bit of an investment up front to get the flood policy put in place. It is not paid through your escrow. You pay for it personally, and you do have to pay for the full year up front.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Awesome. Well, here's Annelise's contact info. Thank you so much for visiting with us today. I think this is timely and critical info for people to have. This is how you can reach out to her. Annelise, where can you help people take care of them? What states?
Right. Most of the Western United States, Oregon, California, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, those are the states that my clients really are concentrated in. I have some peripheral states, so really reach out to me. If I'm not licensed there, I can find you a broker that is.
Yeah. And we are the same way. We love being a resource. We love helping clients, even if it's just in some advice and information. We're happy to provide that to you. We believe that when you share good info, karma, whatever, it comes back to you. So
Agreed.
thank you so much, Annelise. We'll
Thanks,
wrap
Miles.
this. Have a good one.
Take care.
There we go. Oops.